Hey y'all, so today we're going to talk about how to import animated characters. I'm going to start off by launching my project. I'm just going to do an HDRP core scene here. I may as well use Unity 6, why not? And we will get going. I'll see you in the project. Please take a minute and like, comment, or subscribe if you find this content helpful. Thanks. Okay, so we are now inside of our HDRP Unity 6 project. First thing I need to do is get an animated character and pull it in. So I already have a website that I tend to use a lot, which is Mixamo. So here's a stylized vampire breakdancing. Let's do something a little bit more realistic as far as the characters. So let's say I needed to grab passive marker man could be good. And let's say, okay, so I like that character. Now I want to pick an animation. And let's say I just want a walk cycle. Kind of like the crouched walking. Why not? So let's say, okay, we like all that. I'm just going to hit download. We'll do FBX with skin 30 frames a second, no keyframe reduction, and hit download. So the key thing is that you have your piece animated that you're bringing in. There is also a totally different workflow where you'll animate your character inside of Unity. But I'm going to assume that you have a character that's been animated that you're trying to bring in for the sake of this tutorial. So now I'm going to pull over the FBX of the character that we have. So all that I've done for that is drag the FBX over here into the project. You can see from here that there's a lot that comes through with this character. So to edit any of these things, which are all grayed out by default, we're going to need to do a couple of things. So first thing I want to do is pull this character into the scene just to make sure. I'm going to turn off gizmos so that I can see him properly, just to make sure that things come through. Okay, so the animation appears to have come through. The model is in, but I'm not really seeing the textures. And I've noticed in here that even once I have them, I can't really edit the materials at all. So let's say I come back into the main object that I've imported, come over into the materials and say, first of all, let me extract the textures so that I can use them inside of Unity. So now the textures have all come through and that's looking pretty decent. But if I come over here, I can't really edit anything. So the next thing I want to do is to come back into this item, extract the materials as well, and then each of those materials will now be inside of the project, and I can get in here and edit whatever I need to edit. So I'll put this back to how we had it. So let's say I want to change the reflector color to green. Why not? Bright, bright green. Turn the smoothness way up so it's reflective. So you can do whatever you want now. Almost more like Jingle Bells that he's got on. So all of that's done. The next thing that I want to do is come in to the animation that has come through here. And as is, if I hit play, nothing will be happening with the animation because we don't have a few key pieces on the character. So he just sits there. A few things that we need. The first thing is going to be an animation controller. And the way that we will know that is if we come back over to the character and I select the character inside of my hierarchy over here, there's really nothing on this character. So I want to do add component and type in anim and find animator. And from here, the animator is looking for an animation controller. So I'm going to right click down in my project, create animation, animator controller. And we'll call this crouch walking character, something like that. And within this controller, which I can double click to pull up the window, I can then take this animation and trigger it at the start. So there are two ways that you can go about this. You can either just drag this up, or you can right click, create an empty state, and then create the transition. So I'm just going to drag this up into the window. And now it has already set this how I would like for it to be. Speed is 1. That's great. Everything looks solid. So I'm happy with that. And our animation looks good here. And on our character, we can now assign the animator controller here. And if I were to hit play, we should now see the character animating. So we did see the character animating, but it was very briefly. So what we want to do is enable looping on this animation. So to do that, we're going to come back, go to this animation down here, and we'll go ahead and loop the time on this animation that we have. So now that we're looping it, it is going to properly loop for us. We're going to hit play. We'll save it, which we should have just hit apply down here, but luckily it prompted us anyways. And now we have this working, but now what we have an issue with is that the origin is not moving with the walk. So let's figure out how we want to fix that. So now let's hit loop pose and hit apply and run. And now you can see that our character is right here and is animating on a loop. And from here we can kind of do whatever we need. So I just have him looping. If we were to stop this and put a basic cube underneath the character, you would see exactly what's happening. So while this works great, you can see that the character is not actually moving. If you select the character just stays at 0, 0, 0. The animation applies, it loops, it all looks good, so that's great. A couple things that we want to do if you want the character to actually move will be, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to come out into the animator that we're using, and I want to apply root motion, meaning that it will move the root of the object through the animation. And I then want to go into rig and make sure that we're using an avatar. So I'm going to do humanoid, create from this model, standard, all that looks good. And now that we've done that, we have this avatar here that has been made for us. If we come back into our animator, I can drag that avatar in. And now if you hit play, you will see our character actually moving. All right, and our character is now going to be moving in a direction. Not interacting with the world yet, but we could certainly set that up next. And that works pretty great. So while we could start going in and having this character interact with the world and actually use the ground, I think we'll just end the tutorial here, keep this short and sweet so that anyone can get here and look at how to get animations in, pull out, extracting textures, extracting materials, working with the animations that pull in on an FBX, and hopefully this will help you get your game up and going even faster. So thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.